Good morning, guys. I just wanted to jump in here this morning, say Happy New Year. I haven't been in here for a couple of days. I hope everyone has had a beautiful time over Christmas, even though it's probably for a lot of us been very different to how it has been in the past. You know, a lot of people aren't spending time with friends and family. Christmas was different. I did a post about this before Christmas saying, you know, where can we find the gratitude for where we are, and comparing ourselves to so many other people in the world who don't have it as good as we do. If you are watching, please say hello so I know you're there so I can see you, because I can't actually see who's watching. But what I wanted to really just quickly, I wanted to jump in and share, I guess, some of my insights and my perspective on really getting clear on how to create an awesome 2021 for yourself and what that involves. Because I actually had caught up with a girlfriend yesterday, and she said to me, "What's your big goal for 2021?" And I was like, "Well, what's your vision?" Because having a goal without a vision is pointless. And so you're not going to know how to set goals for yourself this year if you don't actually have vision. And so, you know, she was looking at it a lot more micro than the way that I look at it. And I'm like, okay, you can set a goal for yourself, but what's the big picture that you want to create for yourself? And I think this is a really important thing to do at the beginning of each year, rather than setting mindless resolutions or setting goals that are like, oh, I just want to get fitter, like they're meaningless goals. I just want to get fitter, or I want to make more money, or, you know, whatever. It's like actually playing big and setting, you know, getting really clear on what it is you want to create in your life, because we're here for a short time, not a long time. And the reality is that, you know, there has been a lot of learnings from 2020, but I also think that there has been a lot of blessings. And where the power is especially where we are at the moment, is being really intentional about what you're creating for yourself. And the only way that you can do that is actually setting aside time and carving out, like sitting down and spending the time on getting clear on what it is that you want. What do you want to create? Not just a goal. It's like, I want to lose weight, or it's like, what's the big vision for yourself? And I think this is really important. And I think so many people don't do this. And it's like one of the most important things that you can do. And if we're going to manifest, you know, a lot of people get into the power of manifesting. It's like true manifestation does not happen without vision, because you've got to really go, okay, what is it I want to create? And then you're starting to, I've got a system in place where I go, okay, then I'm starting to pull that in. It doesn't always happen the way I think it's going to happen. And there's always speed bumps and roundabouts and big mountains that happen, and it's not going to play out as you want. And the challenge in that is to actually go, okay, I have to let go of control and surrender to that the bigger powers than me, the creator, whatever way that you choose to perceive that and choose to believe in, is got my back and is going to guide me. And so one of the things I do at the start of each year is really go, okay, so what do I want to create for myself? Connect back to what my vision is. And I guess it starts off with, before you even do that, going, okay, let's just look at 2020, if you haven't done this already, and go have some reflection time. Like, what worked, what didn't work, what were my wins, what were my struggles, what am I moving forward, what am I going to take with me into the new year and going forward, and what am I actually ready to let go of and leave behind because it's not serving me. And getting really real and honest about that, and finding the gratitude in the challenge, because it's always there. We always have the opposite of what we're experiencing. And so if we experienced a lot of hardship or loss, we also experienced loneliness, we also received support. So where there's struggle, there's support, like there's always the opposite of what we're experiencing. We're just not looking for it. So it's having that time to reflect. And if you haven't reflected already, I really encourage you to go and reflect over the next couple of days before you get back into the swing of, if you're going to starting work again on Monday, or the following week. Just take some time, put some time aside, and really take some time to first of all reflect. And then ask yourself, what's my vision? Like, what is it I actually want to create? I'm actually quite happy I think I might run a workshop for this. I'll put an event up in the group in the next couple of days. So if you're keen to do that, give me a thumbs up in the comment, or just let me know, because I'll make sure that you're invited to it. Just if you really feel like, I don't know how to go through this process, I will help you. It's also one of the things that I do in my program is I'm really big on goal setting. I'm really big on creating vision in that. So people are looking at the big picture, not just going, oh, I just want to lose weight, or I want to work on my skin or my digestion. It's actually bigger than that, because then you're having a reason why working on those things is important, because you've got this bigger vision and bigger purpose. And it doesn't have to be I know I talk about vision, but it doesn't have to be like saving the planet. It could actually just be showing up as the best version of you for your family and serving them. It doesn't have to be, don't judge yourself either for what you're going to do. And really, this is an important time to not play the comparison game, because the comparison game is, oh, they have a big vision and purpose and I don't have that, or they're obviously making a bigger difference and I can't do that, or I should be doing that and I'm not doing that, but maybe that's not actually why you're here. So it's some of these questions, to these answers aren't going to come straight up. But I think it's really, really important to just go, okay, it's the start of the new year. I need to set aside some time to get clear and intentional about what I'm going to create in this year. And so the way that you do that is by starting off with reflection, like I just said. The next thing is then getting clear on what your vision is. So what is it you want to create? And, it might involve getting out the whiteboard or some big piece of butcher paper with your partner or with your family, or it could be just on your own, and you're actually going, what do I want my life to look like? Where do I want myself to go? What am I doing? Where am I going? Where am I living? How am I feeling? That's really important part too, like the feeling, because often we will create goals to chase a feeling, and then we get to the goal, we get to the end game, and we don't enjoy the process. We don't know how to. We get so fixated in the future on what the goal is that we forget to enjoy the journey. And then when we get there, we're like, oh, and there's a deflation, because first of all, our expectations of what we thought was going to happen when we got to the goal was one-sided, and we weren't looking at the other side. So we weren't looking at the wins as well as the drawbacks. And then the other thing is, we're then chasing a feeling, and then we get to the goal, and we realize that goal actually didn't give us that feeling, and they don't match up. So really getting clear on what are the feelings that you want to feel is really important. Danielle Laporte talks about this a lot. She's the queen of it. And if that resonates with you, I would recommend you go and read her book, The Desire Map, or listen to her podcast, her audiobook, sorry. So that's part of the vision, and behind me, you can see part of my vision is I have a vision board. I did this a couple of years ago. I can't get it because I'm plugged in, but this is my vision board. Hang on a second, I will get it. Okay, so this is my vision board. I made this several years ago, and it was like, what do I want to create? And I'm a very visual person, and I've got a lot of stuff on here that is places I want to go, things I want to do, what I want to create. I've got me working under my desk with my dog, not a Rottweiler or a Doberman, whatever he is. But you know, like there's lots of things on here. I need to update it, but it's like, what do I want to create? And that was part of it. Doing a vision board, by the way, is not the only answer to manifesting. You need to be in alignment with what your values are and be really clear, and also not have inner conflicts going on, and doing deeper work on that. And doing a vision board and then not being intentional with your thoughts, I think, is the biggest mistake that people make. Going, I've done my vision board, I'm going to get this, but they're not really being intentional about their thoughts on a day-to-day basis, and they're not coming up with an action plan on how to get there. So creating a vision board is a really important part of it. Like that process for me was like tapping into the vision of what I want to create for myself, the impact that I want to make with other people in the world, and being really connected to that. And it changes over time, but one of the tools that I've used in part of this is actually creating a mission statement for myself. And I do this in my program. When people first start, I get my clients to create a mission statement for themselves and create goals and go, what's the big vision that I want to create? And for a lot of the people, they've never done anything like this before, and they come back to me with like 2 sentences of what their mission is. And I'm like, just to give you an idea, my mission statement is 8 minutes long, and I listen to it every day. I record it on my phone and I listen to it every day. I find my life is a lot more in alignment when I'm constantly connecting to it and listening to it. When I move away from the rituals and the intentions, like the clear tasks that I have in my world to create intentions, it can go a little bit more off. I can go a bit more off the beaten track. So it's really important. It's like being really conscious about what we are creating. And if I'm going to get really into it, it's like talking about the fact that we are energy. We're 99.99% energy, which means we're actually vibration. We're not really, we're only like 0.1% matter. So all of this is vibration. And so our thoughts are also vibration. And so the thoughts that we think then actually can have an effect on because like attracts like, what comes into your world. And your brain subconsciously, if you are not conscious about the thoughts that you're having and you're not doing work on healing past traumas and stuff as well, your brain will, and you have beliefs about yourself that are deep and ingrained, and you're not being intentional about what you're creating, you then will then go into default mode, and your brain will then go and look to seek out what it knows to be true. And so this whole process is like a rewiring of your brain, saying, my brain needs to seek out what I knows to be true, what it knows to be true. And so when you're listening and connecting to a mission statement every day, your brain then starts to seek out evidence, because you're wiring into your brain and you start to look out for evidence each day. So that's a big part of it. And so reflection, creating a vision, and it might be sitting down for a couple of hours and going, what is it I want to create? Where do I want to be? Where do we, if you're a family or in a relationship, it's like, where do we want to be? Where do I want to be? What is my vision? In 5 years, 10 years. And so you can't do a 5-year or 10-year goals if you don't know where you're going. You don't know where your destination is. So this is really important. You can't create the goals for this year if you don't have the vision. So that's my point. And so with that, then once you've done that, you also want to get clear on what your values are. And values for me are not something that are qualities like virtues, like honesty or integrity. Values are the things that you prioritize in looking at all areas of your life. So relationships, family, business, finances, interests, hobbies, health and wellness, spirituality, personal growth, going in all areas of in those areas of my life. Where do I prioritize things first? Which basically means you will always have a hierarchy of priorities in your life. And if you understand this, because we all as human beings have different priorities, this is often cause conflict with people too, because we all have different priorities of what's important. And so, for example, if fitness is a really high priority in your life, you'll always find time for it no matter what. And being outdoors, and it could be in many different forms, like it could be surfing or it could be hiking or whatever. If that's a really high value for you, you'll always you'll always find time for it. If it's not, it gets pushed down the ladder. And so part of this is actually acknowledging, okay, what are the things I actually really prioritize in my life? And I'll share with you what mine are. Mine are health and wellness, personal growth, teaching, connection, nature, and freedom is one up there as well. So I've got quite a few. They change and shift, and it's not set in stone in terms of how these are prioritized. But these are all important parts of my life. And so when I'm looking at the way that I'm prioritizing my life, the way I'm making decisions, it's like, are these things aligned with my values? And so it's the same with goal setting. It's like, are these goals that I'm making, is the vision aligned with my values? And is the goals that I'm making for this year aligned with my values? Also something I do in my programs. So once you've done that and you've created a vision for yourself, you can then start to get a bit more micro and go, okay, well, in 3 years' time, what are my goals? That can be a hard one. I only do 3 years ahead. And then go, okay, well, what are my goals for this year? And what are my 12-month goals? And you might just want to break it down to each area of your life, and go, I might have one main goal for each area of my life, 1 or 2 main goals for each area of my life. You might find, depending on what season of your life you're in, so you could be in the season of family, you could be in the season of business, you could be in the season of personal growth, you could be in the season of health, that your goals will reflect that, because that's where your focus is at the moment. And so then you go, okay, well then what are my action plans to get to these goals? And so that's a really summarized version of how I set goals. But I just wanted to share that with you, because I think it's so important to not just go, what's my big goal for the year? It's like, well, what's your vision? Where are you going? Why is that goal important to you? Is that goal in alignment with your vision? Is that goal in alignment with your values? Is that what you really want? Is that going to connect you with your desired feelings? And have fun with it. Enjoy the process. Like, I'm still unraveling it for this year. I'm still carving out my business goals and carving out my life goals, like my goals for this year in my personal life as well as my business, to go, okay, this is what I want to consciously create. And then I'm going to probably make some changes to, say, things like my mission statement to reflect that, and really just put a lot of love and intention and energy into that. And that's it, because writing down a goal for this year and then not even ever looking at it, not even having an action plan on how to actually action it, because it means you actually have to do stuff, which, by the way, people in the world of manifesting sometimes get caught into the fact, it's just going to come to me. It's like, yeah, but you also do need to work for it. It doesn't mean that it won't come to you naturally anyway, and that can happen. But there also needs to be this element of you understanding that if you have this big audacious goal for the year or for the next 3 years, what are the benefits, but what also are the drawbacks of that, and how is that going to affect you? And get clear on what's the commitment basically that it's going to take, and what am I going to say no to, or what am I going to say yes to in order to get there. Because if we come in and look at a goal one-sided and go, oh my gosh, this is my goal, and not be willing to go, yeah, there's actually things that I need to sacrifice to reach this goal. So for example, using the example of losing weight is a really perfect example, especially for the beginning of the year. It's like, okay, so what are the drawbacks of me having to hit this goal that I want to create and want to get to, which is, maybe losing 10 kilos. And I want to feel more vibrant and healthy in my body. I want to feel more connected to my body. That's more intentions of that's more the outcome of what you want. The goal of the weight is, something that's measurable, but what's the real outcome? The real intention is like, yeah, I want to be able to actually be fit enough to feel good in my own skin. I want to feel good in my own skin, and I want to be able to go and play with my kids and have the energy to do that. That's more of an intention. So you can sort of see the difference. But, what's that going to take? What are the drawbacks going to be? Okay, well, it means I'm going to have to probably get up early. I'm going to have to come up with a bit of a plan on terms of what my exercise looks like. I may need to go and get help with my nutrition and my health, and go and get support and guidance with that, because doing it on your own is really hard. What support can I pull in to make sure that I hit that goal, and get to that goal? And how can I do it from a place of love as well, not a place of shame? That's the other thing that's really important, is going, is this coming from a place of love and respect for myself, because I totally am my own best asset? Or is it like, I'm trying to hit this goal because I don't feel worthy enough? That's the other awareness that you really want to bring into this whole process. So yeah, that is it. I would love to know if you found this helpful. If you've got any questions, let me know, and I will set up an event in the next couple of days for a proper goal setting workshop. If you're keen, please write in the comments so I can make sure that you're invited to it. All right, have a beautiful day. I'll see you soon. Ciao.